I've come to talk to you about kratom, whatever. It's all the same thing, and share a little bit about my story of how I found this substance, this drink, and what it did for me, and how I got viciously addicted to it, and pretty much how it almost ruined my life if it wasn't for the Sanctuary. So I've never really been a drinker. It's just something that ever since I was in high school, at parties, tried it, never really fit my bill, athlete in school, and pretty much just went most of my 20s without any substance, weed here and there, but that's another story. Kratom, as I call it, kind of found my way in my life when I was around 28. And in Florida, where I'm from, Kratom bars are kind of co-op working spaces where it's all about the vibe. It's the music, it's the setting. People are on their laptops in there, and it's just a jovial atmosphere. And you're kind of like, if you're in the spiritual scene, in the crystal, or just conscious scene, you kind of vibe to it, because it's like, all right, all these people don't like alcohol, and the conversations are much more depth and thorough than would be in a bar when you're kind of wasted and sloppy and you don't remember what you said the next day. You're pretty coherent on Kratom, but it's an interesting substance. Its main properties, I guess, would say euphoria, and through euphoria, you kind of, what's happening is your gut's recognizing it as an opiate, and even though they don't tell you that, and you start feeling good and you feel loose, and it could be the end of the day as you transition from work into however you spend your evening. It could be the weekend coming early. Could be because you're in pain, or it could be because you just enjoy the feeling. But I found it just through mutual friends and made some pretty interesting relationships there, good and bad. I mean, some people definitely had better willpower than I did, and the kava drink's real big there too, but Kratom was what kind of spoke to me, and I just felt it in my body. I felt good. I felt a little tingle in my shins, a little shiver down my spine, and then I was just able to talk freely, and it started as a conversational socialization thing I used in my life, and yeah, it was good for a while. And they tell you it's natural. They usually have a little card that says Kratom. It comes from a coffee tree in Asia, and it's the leaf steeped and nothing but water in the leaf. And you're like, all right, well, this is something that will probably be at the health food store or something organic, and comes in a couple strains. So whatever you need in life, if it's energy, if it's feel good, or if it's relaxation, they got strains that match all that stuff. What they don't tell you is the dark side of the drink, and a lot of places in Asia it's illegal where it comes from, so that shows you something right there. But slowly by slowly, you find yourself wanting it a little more, and however you use it, if it's to get off, you can even get off pain pills with it, but it's still another substance, and your gut's recognizing it as an opiate. That's bad business to tell you that, but they know you're getting hooked on it, and I kind of call it very potent drug water. And in the community, it's kind of an unspoken thing that you slowly become addicted to it, and you try to act like you got it under control, and that it's not really messing with your life, and you're still focused, you're still clear because you're not high. You feel a little high, but you're not drunk. You can't get a DUI on it. They're always quick to tell you. So digging a little bit more into it, I found myself, me personally, was in a little bit of a bad relationship and had some emotional pain, suffered from insomnia, and was just a little blue in life about some things, probably relating to those two things. So Kratom actually knocked out all three things at once. It knocked out emotional pain, physical pain from not sleeping, and just psychological pain from being in a bad relationship. So for me, it was a triple whammy. And unlike alcohol, where you have to wait to maybe 11 a.m., 12, 1 p.m., wherever you live, to grab a drink, Kratom you can go buy at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. if it starts. And for me, I like to start my day off with one to get some energy going, and then around lunchtime have another one, and usually found myself back at the place to chill, where the first two times I was just stopping by to grab a drink. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you sit down with people and you're talking, and it's not like talking at a bar where people the next day have no idea what they said. I mean, I had some pretty deep metaphysical, spiritual conversations. Everyone was pretty healthy looking, holistic, but little by little, I started noticing the bags under people's eyes, and even some tremors sometimes when they weren't drinking it. And for me, it took me a while to recognize that in myself, but I kind of duped myself into thinking that it's something I can always beat with willpower and stuff like that. But the problem is it's not only is it physically addictive, it's physiologically addictive. And what I mean by that is when your mind's eye kind of focuses on it, you start to crave it more. And then the nerves and the body, the physical aspect starts to kick in. And it's something you just say, if I have a single or a double, it'll go away. And you might not even piece it together at first. You might just be drinking it thinking that, oh, it's something else in my life playing out, but it's actually the kratom taking hold. And for me, I like to travel. I like to go to different countries, go to the jungle in South America, tap into my Indiana Jones side. But what happened when I traveled was I was so stimulated from an external environment with all my senses lit up, from new sights, new sounds, new tastes, just everything was new, that I was kind of able not to focus on kratom, so that physiological part wouldn't kick in. And then I didn't recognize the physical withdrawal of the upset stomach, the constipation, the irritability being that. I thought it was just the things I didn't have at home, the comforts, the luxuries, but it was actually the kratom. And it wasn't until I came to the Sanctuary to work on myself that I had nothing else to focus on other than myself and be with myself. And then that's when it showed me the real dark side of it, which for those who are interested, I was in bed for 4 days, shaking, tremors. I've never had hot, cold flashes like that. Fortunate never to have taken pills before, so my body just didn't recognize it other than a couple surgeries, but then you get to a point where you're not in pain and you don't want it. But for me, it was a complete shock to my world of what was happening, and pretty much thought I wasn't gonna die or anything, but I felt like dying, and I would almost have rather died than go through that. And that feeling alone struck such a chord in my gut to just say, I never ever want to go through this again. And I've kind of taken it as a passion and a purpose to make sure people know what they're getting into when they take this substance. It's so easy to fall into that organic, holistic lifestyle that these people are all yogis coming after yoga class, or people that are meditating in the park or going for a run and stuff. But like I said before, it's an unspoken thing that everyone's addicted, and no one wants to admit it. No one wants to admit the substance has control over them and pretty much dictates their life. And tapping back into my process with kratom, one of the things that now I see it was doing was it was numbing the pain so much in my life in such a proficient way that I wasn't dealing with any of the issues that were presenting themselves in my life. I was just suppressing them through kratom. And little by little, my depression got worse, my anxiety got worse, my relationships got more poor and stuff. And that's because it was every day when life throws a curveball at you or anything comes in your way, you have a kratom and you don't deal with it. But then the next day you wake up, that stress, that tension is just even worse. And then the next day it's worse. And then it just snowballs to a point where you know this substance has control over you. And you think you're alone. You think I must have messed up somewhere. It can't be. And it's almost like you don't want to ask for help. And it's really easy to make friends in a kratom bar that drink it and stuff. So talking to them, it's not like they're going to help you get out. And then for people that have never tried it before, they can't relate to it because they're not sure what it is. So it's a thing that doesn't come up on drug tests. It's a thing that kind of flies under the radar. And I just want people to know, making a conscious decision to drink this drink pretty much 3 or 4 times you have a cup, your gut's going to start craving that. It's not like heroin or anything, but I can guarantee you never want to deal with these withdrawals. So I'm making it a point and passion to just be open and honest and claim this power that I've reclaimed in my life to share with people, to avoid the pitfalls that I made, and know that this business is going to keep growing, and there's going to be more people suffering from it, and they're going to maybe not be able to afford going to a coffee kratom tea house, and then they start going to smoke shops or wherever you get the powders. But the problem is that it's becoming such an industry, like any industry that comes from the natural world, that the natural supply can't meet the natural demand. So now people are starting to put fillers in it, arsenic, and a host of things that I've seen some people buy at smoke shops, or take the vitamins or the extracts, and then pretty much just have the worst stomach problems, have to go to the doctor. The doctor will put them on Suboxone, which is another opiate, and you pretty much spend your whole life numb to it. And I just want to tap in one more thing, is the spiritual side of it. Alcohol is known as a low frequency drink, but kratom is in no way, shape, or form any different. Yeah, you can't get a DUI on it, but what it does is it dims the soul, it dims the light in your eyes, it dims your vitality, and you just get to a point where you're broken inside, and the only thing you look forward to, or the only thing you know that can bring you out, is kratom itself. So it's a vicious, vicious circle, and I just plead with you, if you're getting off opiates and you're taking this, know that it's a short-term fix and you're still going to have to go through the withdrawals of this. And if you're deciding not to take opiates from a surgery and use it, just know it's still going to constipate you like an opiate will. It's still going to have to get out of the system, cleanse itself, flush itself out, and I can assure you from people that I've met at the Sanctuary that have taken opiates that what I suffered from is the exact same thing they suffered from, if not worse. And just want you to realize that. And this business practice, just know it's over 1,000% markup on this stuff. So you're going to be seeing a lot more bars pop up, and some are going to have great vibes, cool people, a DJ, whatever that is, great seats, great internet to hang out at. But know that this is the thing that they don't want you to know, and they'll never tell you, because it's a good business for them, because they don't have to sell the product. The product sells itself by getting addicted in your system.